and sales for startups. We got an exciting lineup, and Vicky Donor is not a part of that panel. So can we have it off screen?
Hang.
Sorry, goof up. So the next one is so in the morning we mentioned we got 4 co-founders or 4 co-hosts for Smash Up. So Mahesh and Vishal you heard in the morning, and the other 2 smashing co-hosts of Smash Up are here. Samir Guglani, who runs an incubator and accelerator called the Morpheus. He's flown down from Chandigarh right for us attending Smash Up, and he's been very kind to mentor the Smashers, which you will be meeting later during the Smasher Award. And of course, Alok Kejriwal, we know him very popularly as Rodin Hood from Games2Win, and he's also joining us up on the next panel. We'll have 30 minutes of an extremely interactive session. Yeah, those are some messages that they were broadcasting while recruiting the Smashers, and they've shortlisted 2 Smashers each. That is 2 startups out of 134 that applied, and you will get to meet them in the evening at 5 p.m. So we've got Samir and Rodin Hood here. Thanks for coming in, Ross.
Where are the balls, man? Where are the balls? Does everybody have them?
You will get them very soon.
So the question he asks is, where are the balls? Does everybody have them?
We have big balls. Does anybody have big
Balls of sponge.
Guglani, please. Show some love, shoot some balls and squishies.
But only if they deserve it.
Yeah. Let them come, man. That's too much. We deserve it, dude. Don't qualify us already. It's not very goddamn exam. So what's the language decorum here? I mean, is it like complete XXX or?
No, until a single X will do.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak anything. So come on, man, say something. National anthem?
Yeah, everybody used to stand and sing them.
So, can I start?
Yeah.
So thank you, Kanchan, thank you for IIT. Never been in these hallowed, never thought I would ever enter these hallowed portals on my own academic merit, but I think a twist of fate got me here a couple of times, including this one. I think our focus should be to kind of juice these 30 minutes and, highlight some of the things that have been current. What's going on? What is it that I think at least I've picked up, and try and bounce this with Samir in terms of I would really focus on revenue model, and let me refocus this. Revenue model sounds pretty sad. Yeah. Business model, right? Business model. Let's get the business model discussion going. And I think from business model we can segue into anything you want. Can I just throw the first observation, if I may? So I looked at the Instagram deal really carefully, right? I analyzed it, I mulled over it, I went through it 3 or 4 times. And I think the new currency of valuation is engagement. I think money or revenue is a byproduct of that. So if you look at 30 million unique scaling up to 50 million in the next 6 or 7 months, is Mahesh Murthy in this room? Where the hell is Mahesh Murthy, man? Can the real Mahesh Murthy stand up? Yeah, because I was trying to grill him, man. I mean, I was going to tag him and saying, Mahesh Murthy, please explain the Instagram deal to me. And, I didn't remember that. But the other thing was, thank you. You're laughing. We also had, I also posted that on Facebook, and I asked everybody who knew every IM, IA, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, M, whatever, how many ever IMs there are, to kind of professors to explain that. Unfortunately, they all got tagged, but they never came back with an explanation. So here's the deal, right? I think my view, Samir, is that if you look at Facebook, or if you look at Google+, it could be in anybody. I've seen this happen with Zynga buying companies. I've seen this happening with other products. I think there's a very clear line between what I still say, and I'll try and bring that up again repeatedly. The balance sheet model and the P&L model. Either you attack P&L or you attack balance sheet. And we'll go there in a minute. But specifically for Instagram, I mean, do you ever imagine, did anybody here imagine that somebody who had no revenue and actually says, I will not make revenue, gets bought out for 5,200 crores? Anybody who imagined that, dreamt of it, like even kind of died, went to heaven and came back? Just raise your hand here. I don't think anybody did. So it just proves that there's something out there that is not clearly understood. You know, it's like Lost, the black smoke, right? It's there, man. It'll come and get you. But you got to be attractive enough. I think hypothetically, if you just focus on consumer, delight, engagement, and blow out, right? The whole cycle of 1, 2, 3, 5, 30, 40, 300 million, I think that's the value. Everything else be damned. So just delight, engagement, explosion. That's what I feel is like top of my mind right now. So if you wake me up at 3 a.m. and say, what are you saying, man? What are you dreaming of? I hope I'm dreaming of, what I'm dreaming of I can't tell you here, but otherwise it'll be delight, engagement, and explosion, man. So, I know.
So,
that's for me, man. Hey! I like that. That was big. Target.
So just to, I think I agree with most of Alok says, basically, but I think what we have seen in our portfolio, so basically there are two ways to live life, right? One is a career-driven life and one is a passion-driven life, right? So, and if you come to entrepreneurship, you'll meet both kind of entrepreneurs. There are people who are career-driven entrepreneurs. Basically, they'll say, okay, there's a huge opportunity out there, and I can probably get funded or traction and sell it to other people. And then there are people who basically just solve a problem just for the passion for it, right? So, one of the things which I want to share and what we have seen, I've seen the company which I have worked closely with, that people who are solving problems which they are personally passionate about, somehow they have a connection with the problem, always, would basically, so that the desire to delight a consumer, right, it comes from within, right, because somewhere you have seen that problem yourself, you basically can feel the pain. So if there's a connectivity, like when a user is happy, you are happy, and if they are in pain, then you are in pain. I think that's the first step, and after that, business models can obviously be built on top of that.
But Samir, the question is, I think, good point. So you figured out the reason why people do what they do. They do it for passion, obviously. But the question is, who pays the bill? I mean, Love and Fresh Air died, went out of fashion like 20 years ago. We love our cars, we love our EMIs, we love our dinners, we love our good booze. So who's going to pay for all that?
No, so it's basically definitely not a philanthropic way of doing things. Basically, so for example, just give you an example. Right? We have this company called Float in our portfolio. So they built this, cool iPhone app for location-based messaging. Whatever the trendy keywords we can find, and it went on. It was all right, but somehow you could see they were never connected with it, right? And these guys came from music background, so they were basically one of them had been playing in band for like 20 years. So after 6 months, they came and said, "Hey, dude, we are not really enjoying what we are doing. We want to do something with entertainment." So after, like 2 months after that, they launched an independent music radio station, and they got 50 bands, who they already knew onto the station, and and the app is phenomenal. Like, I mean, I've been listening to only that music for the last 2.5 months, and the focus, and and as we are speaking, they're closing like about 30 lakh rupees round, which will hopefully pay for some more growth, right? So what happened was, like, anybody who we were interested in targeting for investment, we said, hey, why don't you give us your UDID of your iPhone or iPad, and we'll send you the app, and if you like the music, we'll talk further, right? And that love and care and passion, because they understand and kind of relate to the bands who play that music, or they have the quality of the music, it shows in the music quality. So
let's ask these guys, right? How many of y'all have the balls to stand up and say that I'm going to build a business for 3 years and not have a revenue model? That's a problem. We can't see an Instagram here. There's no Instagram. If you look at every business model that's evolving now, there seems to be a fundamental shift. Because, the problem is this, right? We're a sub $2 million company in Games2Win, right? Sub 2 million. We've been stuck at sub 2 million for the last 5 years. Now, I think I can either become 5 million if I really go out there, beg, borrow, steal money from brands and, pound Madison Avenue and do all that crap. What is it going to be? What's $5 million going to be? 10x, 2x, 3x, 15 million? With 30 million users, 15 million users, we want to get to 30. I think even $1.50, $2 a user at the bare minimum is still $60 million for me. If I'm looking at like, God help me, I'm just going to get out. So I want to start thinking of making people say, what is the obsession by doing a product and revenue when you can do either? And I fundamentally feel it's because of the environment we grow up in this country. I mean, I don't come across any VC who says, if you have a revenue model, I don't want to talk to you. If you have a revenue model, you're wasting your time. Sumant Mandal of Clearstone, this is not a pitch, 2 years back said, Alok, you're wasting my time and your time by talking about revenue in the PPT. Because your revenue is not $100 million. If it were, then we'll talk about $100 million. So I think fundamentally you need to question, because it's not about, and let me rephrase this, right? I hope I'm not giving the impression that revenue is not important. I'm trying to explain that the timing of revenue is very important. So that is critical. And the biggest example of them all is Facebook. The biggest example of them all. They 100, 200, 300, 400, $500 million, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, zilch. Look at the goddamn S1, right? Look at the filing. And boom, you start with $4 billion in year 7. And $4 billion is like things are being dropped in their kitty right now, right? They're not even going and asking for money. And you reverse the whole stance and look at MySpace. Yeah, great company, 500 million UUs or 400 million, scaling really well. Boom, they come and massacre their homepage and put ads there, and it's over. So I think, let me end by saying that if you have consumer engagement, explosion, delight, you have revenue, but it's not been collected. Leave it on the table. It's there. Just leave it on the table. Don't even think that it's not there. The problem is, I think we want to collect it too fast. And that's when we kind of get distracted. So we come with our cashier machines and our tills and our bill calculators, and that's where you get F dot, 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 dot. Sorry, right? That's allowed, right? Where the balls, man? Sorry. No balls, man. Nobody's throwing anything. A thanda crowd, yaar. Kya hai, yaar? Good, yaar. Kuch karo, yaar. No, entrepreneurs here, man. Sorry. So, what do you think, Samir? I mean, you're a VC, you're like a mentor, you meet everybody out there. Do you meet VCs who say like, revenue के बारे में बाद में बात करेंगे, but पहले business model बताओ? Honestly?
Actually, I have a different experience. I think what has happened is after the 2008 bust or the subprime and everything, right? So basically, lots of people started feeling revenue. So the investor community, actually, at least in India, still talks about revenue. So obviously, some of that rubs off on the entrepreneurs. Whereas in US, the subprime came, the subprime went, and they just took off Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So I actually see that lots of people are in India still asking about revenue. That's kind of going away a little bit. So that may be the reason, kind of rubbing off on people.
So let's ask ourselves a fundamental question, right? What is revenue and what is top line? So is top line revenue? Is definitely not. Is a worst description of revenue. I think a lot of VCs want top line. If you look at every e-commerce guy out there, they're building a whole load of top line. I don't see any revenue. We run a Media2Win business, which is a media advertising business. 15.2 crores of top line, right? I don't even want to tell you what the revenue is. It's shameful. So I think, at the end of the day, when you look through I'm a Marwadi accountant, yeah. Mera to kaam hai P&L ko dekhna hai. See cost of goods sold, Mr. Sanjay is laughing now. We've done this all our lives. Boss, 3 चीज देखते हैं ना, right, left hand side में क्या है यार, निकालो तो cost of goods sold, you're looking at like 10, 7, 8% margins, and then you got a whole list of operating expenses. You're anyway stupid. So I think there are 3 things I want to kind of highlight. Understand what is a balance sheet. A balance sheet is a debtor and creditor or an asset and liability list. Get yourself funded really well from a VC who understands that the asset you're going to build is IP and product. The asset is not an FD that is going to give you interest.